Hold still now. There's something on your nose. Please, Mr. Brown, you must remain absolutely still. Otherwise, this will never be finished in time for the art exhibition tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gruber. I'm afraid sitting still is one thing bears aren't very good at.
Almost finished. Just one last stroke. There.
It's very good, Mr. Gruber. My paintings always come out looking like that.
And what's wrong with that? Art comes in all shapes and sizes, and many different styles. Look.
I could throw paint on a canvas too, but I wouldn't call it art.
But it is, Mr. Brown, it is. Some artists throw paint, some walk through it, but it's all art.
Even this?
Aha, I see you found my latest treasure. This was just an old, dusty picture. Then I cleaned off some paint, and I could hardly believe my eyes. Underneath was an old master. That means it was painted many years ago by a famous artist. It's very valuable.
Well, it still looks like a lady with a banana in her ear to me.
Things aren't always as they seem in this world, Mr. Brown. Just you wait until I've finished cleaning it.
Allow me, Mrs. Bird. If you don't mind my asking, are we going far?
We're just taking these few things to the rubbish bin.
What's this? I've never seen this before. I suppose they don't think it's worth keeping. What did Mr. Gruber say? Things aren't always what they seem.
What have you got there, Bear?
Painting I found in the rubbish. That's why I'm scrubbing it. Underneath the top layer of paint, there may be an old master.
What? Impossible. What will an old master be doing in with the rubbish?
It isn't impossible. Mr. Gruber says it often happens.
Mr. Gruber said that. Let me see. Let me do it. Careful now. Nothing. I knew it.
Yes, Mr. Brown. I put your painting by the front door, just as you said. It's quite safe.
Oh dear, I'm afraid we made a dreadful mistake. This was Mr. Brown's painting. There's only one thing to do. We'll have to admit the truth. I'm sure Mrs. Bird won't be too upset when she learns what we've done, Mr. Curry. It was an honest mistake.
Mrs. Bird? Why do you have to tell her? There must be another way.
Ah, Mr. Curry, models must remain absolutely still.
Splashing in a flash, you can dip it, dab it, even jab it, then you hold it, stroke it. You can soak it till you swish it, swirl it, do it your own way. You know that art isn't work, it's play. Throw your worries and your brush away. Use your hands, use your feet, you don't have to be neat. Give it style, give it flair, you can paint with your hair. Throw your paint around, faster and faster. It's never a disaster, just call it an old master. Purple, pink, yellow, green, red, white, or blue. It's up to you to use any color you choose. Splish it, splash it, in a flash. You can dip it, dab it, even jab it. Then you roll it, stroke it. You can soak it till you swish it, swirl it, do your own way.
Ooh. Bear! Look what you've done! I'm having no part of this. Oh, dear.
It doesn't look very like Mrs. Brown. As Mr. Gruber said, it all depends how you look at things. He's right. It's even worse this way up. Painting isn't as easy as one might think.
Paddington?
Brown residence. I'm from the art exhibition, here to pick up an entry.
There it is. Mind how you go. Mr. Brown's put a lot of work into that painting. Paddington? Oh, there you are. Come on in, it's time for supper. And make sure you have a good wash first.
Oh, this lamb is delicious, Mrs. Bird. I think I'll have some more.
I thought artists were supposed to starve.
Then it looks like Paddington's the only artist at this table.
I'm not really very hungry, Mrs. Bird. May I be excused?
Of course.
Do hope he's all right. He hardly touched his dinner, and he seemed to have some funny red spots all over his face.
Wow, red spots. I hope he's given it to me, whatever it is.
He's got green ones as well.
Green ones? If they're not gone in the morning, I'll send for the doctor.
Would be a shame if he has to stay in bed and miss the exhibition tomorrow. I'm so pleased you're feeling better today, Paddington. Your spots are all gone.
I know. I found some of them on his towel this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Remarkable use of colour.
Great imagination.
A credit to the artist.
I'm sure that's yours, Henry. I recognise the bag.
What's the matter, Paddington? Are you feeling all right?
Yes, thank you. But I think I may be about to have a relapse.
we are delighted to announce that first prize in the Community Arts Exhibition is awarded to Mr. Henry Brown of 32 Windsor Gardens.
Why, that's me! I can't believe it. I've never won anything before. But this isn't my painting.
What? Well, if it's not your painting, then whose is it?
I think it may be mine. But you've got it upside down.
Better.
True genius.
Marvelous. Thank you. But I must share this prize with my neighbour. If Mr. Curry hadn't modelled for me, I could never have made my very own Old Master. Pardon? Could you please tell me what's going on?
It's, how do you say? Pardon, Monsieur Le Bear.
Yes. Pardon. I was wondering what was happening.
It is le Festival du Pardon.
Pardon? But that means excuse me. My phrase book doesn't mention festivals. I wonder if Mr. Gruber knows what's going on.
Le Pardon is an annual event of great importance, Monsieur Le Bear. There is a fair and a fireworks display.
It's why we've come to St. Castile, Mr. Brown. It's a fascinating custom that I want to include in my book, The World and Its Wonders.
And to make it even more special, there is a parade of the village band. That is the reason I am in uniform. I am the leader.
But I thought you were the baker, Mr. Dupont. Madame Zaza, international fortune teller.
I wouldn't put too much stock in fortune tellers, Mr.
Un ourson. Bienvenue, bienvenue.
I would like my paw red, please.
Comment? Where did you go?
I'm right here, Mrs. Zaza. You did say come on.
I said comment. That means, what did you say? Please sit where I can see you.
I would be honored to be the parade's official photographer, Monsieur Dupont. Very honored indeed.
Monsieur Dupont! Monsieur Dupont! There has been a disaster!
Now, if you'd like to cross my palm with silver, I'll see what I can do to oblige.
Paw reading is much cheaper than I expected.
You are supposed to give me the coin. Now, let me see your paw. You seem to have a very long lifeline, even for a bear.
I don't think it is a lifeline. I think it's an old marmalade chunk that I forgot to wash off.
I cannot read chunks. You will have to pay extra and have the crystal ball.
Oh, thank you.
No. I meant I would use the crystal ball to read your future. Now, what month is your birthday?
June and December.
June and December? But you can't have two birthdays. No one has more than one.
Bears do, just like the Queen.
It says you are going on a journey. And I think you should leave quite soon.
A journey? But I've already done that. That's how Mr. Gruber and I arrived here in France.
I'm in another one very soon. And it will be a short journey, but it will go off with a bang. Ah, the picture is fading. I think my palm needs crossing again.
Again? I hope this fortune comes with some kind of guarantee.
Whoa!
Apparently, it doesn't.
And how was your fortune, Mr. Brown?
It wasn't very good value, Mr. Gruber. I think my lines must have been crossed.
Yes, Monsieur Lebert. It is a bad day all around.
Why's that?
The man who plays the big drum in Monsieur Dupont's band has taken ill.
I cannot find anyone to replace him. What is a band without someone at the back who can go boom, boom, boom?
Boom, boom, boom. I wonder.
What is it, Mr. Brown?
Mrs. Zaza said something about a journey and that it would go off with a bang.
Ah, yes. I see what Monsieur Lebert is getting at. L'harmonie, messieurs! L'harmonie!
Mr. Dupont says the drum is a very important instrument. Even when the band stops playing, I am to keep banging so that the others can keep in step.
Mr. Brown! Mr. Brown! Mr. Brown, you're keeping everyone awake with your drumming.
Oh.
Monsieur Lebert, please, the noise!
Oh, hello. I was just practicing in the wardrobe so I wouldn't disturb anyone.
It is not working, Monsieur Lebert!
Oh. Everyone turned out for the big event.
Bravo, Monsieur Lebert! Monsieur Lebert's noisy practice paid off. The band sounds wonderful.
Indeed it does, Madame Penet. But I do wish Mr. Brown would face this way occasionally. I'd like to take a nice photograph as a memento. They're on their way back. I should be able to get a proper picture of him now.
But where is he?
Monsieur Dupont, where is Mr. Brown?
Ce n'est pas possible. What has happened to him?
Madame Zaza, have you seen young Mr. Brown?
You mean that skin-flint bear who gave me the foreign coins? I predicted he'd go on a journey and it would go off with a bang. Just you wait and see.
You know, it's a funny thing. For the past 5 minutes, it's been all drum and no band. And it's getting rather hot.
Whoa! I can hear him, Monsieur Gruber, but I can't see him.
Mr. Brown is most unpredictable. He could be anywhere. Oh, Mr. Brown, there you are. However did you manage to get down there?
Oh, it was quite easy. It's the getting up part that's difficult.
Don't worry, Mr. Brown. I'll rescue you. But first... It may not be the most flattering of photos, Mr. Brown, but at least I got a good picture of you with your drum.
Mrs. Zaza was right after all. I did go on a journey, and it certainly went off with a bang. Dear Aunt Lucy, I had the worst nightmare the other night. You won't believe what happened. That's my hat. You give it back to me.
Finders keepers. What's under your bed?
My hat and my things! Ow! No! Huh? You can imagine how pleased I was to wake up and find my hat and all my other things were safe and sound. It was certainly an unusual start to the day, but then, as it turned out, it was a very unusual day altogether.
Good morning, Morning, Paddington. Don't look worried. We've a big surprise for you. We're going to have a picnic on the river.
And we're having a fishing competition. Dad promised £1 to whoever catches the first fish. And with my new fishing net, I won't let any get away. Here, Paddington, give it a try.
Thank you very much. Whoops.
Mind what you're doing, Paddington. That's my favourite parasol. I would hate anything to happen to it. Now, however will I manage to pack all of these sandwiches into this basket?
I think I can help you with those, Mrs.
I'm
Bird.
sure you can, Paddington. But leave some for the picnic.
Hurry up, Paddington. When you've finished, you can bring your suitcase out to the car. I brought the fishing tackle, and you can use my favourite rod if you like.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
It'll be a tight squeeze with my old gramophone, but we always bring it to picnics on the river.
I'm sorry, Paddington. There's no room for your suitcase.
But you brought your fishing rods, Mr. Brown. And Mrs. Bird brought her parasol. And Mrs. Brown brought her gramophone. And Jonathan has his net.
All right, Paddington. But you'll have to squeeze it in the back seat.
It's my belt, Jonathan.
Ouch, Paddington. Your suitcase is poking in my ribs.
And so, Aunt Lucy, we set off for my very first picnic on the River Thames.
Ah, Mr. Brown, I presume. I was about to cancel your reservation.
I'm so sorry we're late. We got lost. You see, we took a wrong turn on a marmalade stain.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Well, I see. Right, can you cast off by yourselves?
Yes, of course. No problem at all. Thank you very much.
It looks a bit small to me. Are you sure it's safe?
Don't worry, Mrs. Bird. I've never lost a passenger yet.
There's always a first time.
Here we go. You're in charge of the ropes, Paddington. Ready? Cast off, Paddington. Hold on, everyone.
Cast off? Hold on.
They're overboard! They're overboard! Hold on, Paddington. We're coming.
I did hold on, but that's how I fell in.
Here, don't worry, I'll save you.
Oh, poor Paddington.
Shall we call
Paddington
I'm sorry,
all right?
Paddington. I thought you understood.
Thank goodness he's safe.
Of course he's safe. The water's not very deep by the pier.
Paddington, you must be more careful. You don't know how to swim.
My hat! I've lost my hat!
Maybe we're rid of that old hat once and for all. It really is an embarrassment whenever we go out.
There it is! My hat!
Oh, my parasol!
It was worse than my nightmare.
The current's pretty strong in this stretch. They'll probably get swept over the weir.
Swept over the weir?
Either that or sucked into a whirlpool down at the lock.
Sucked into a whirlpool?
Come on, Paddington. We'll save it.
My picnic on the river had turned into a panic on the river. My hat is in there!
Hello there. Did you lose something?
I lost a hat, a rare Peruvian hat.
Hey, a Persian cat? You lost a cat?
Not a cat, a hat. It's a rare one from darkest Peru. It's a family heirloom.
Never heard of a hat being an heirloom.
Mine is. My uncle handed it down to me.
Well, if it went over the weir, it's probably miles away by now.
Sorry, Paddington.
Come on, Paddington. Fishing will cheer you up.
I don't think anything can do that, Mr. Brown.
You caught one, Paddington. Now just reel it in. That's it. Wind it in and hang on.
Well, I'll be. It's Mrs. Bird's parasol.
And my hat. Ah.
You caught the first fish, Paddington.
Marmalade must be good fish bait. It ate my emergency sandwich.
My parasol. Oh, thank you, Paddington. And I'm so glad you found your hat. It really is one of a kind. Most unusual. Just like you.
After that, my picnic on the river was a day I would never forget. But a few times, I had to pinch myself just to make sure I wasn't dreaming. Dear Aunt Lucy, each day can bring something unexpected, like the morning I went to the supermarket.
Harold Price and Deirdre Flint. Don't you two look as cozy as hot cocoa in front of a fire on a winter's night?
We're so happy.
Tomorrow's the big day.
The wedding's been planned to a T. We're so looking forward to it.
I am too. I've never been to a wedding before.
Ah, here's the bear who made it all possible.
It happened when Paddington was helping out with our amateur dramatic society.
I'm afraid I pulled the wrong rope by mistake.
I should think you did. Was that when you broke your arm, Harold?
Yes.
Oh, at least it brought us closer together.
Well, congratulations, and have a wonderful time tomorrow. Weddings are such beautiful occasions.
And ours certainly will be.
Hello, preserves counter, Harold Price speaking. Oh, no. Oh, dear. It can't be.
What? What's wrong, Harold?
Nothing, dear. Everything's fine.
Good. I just don't know what I would do if anything happened to spoil our day.
The usher has cancelled. Will you stand in for him at the wedding tomorrow?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful. You see... Hello, love.
Hello, Miss Flint.
Now, tomorrow morning, go to my flat and pick up the guest list. Oh, and whatever you do, don't breathe a word of this to anyone. Deirdre will be frantic if she hears the real usher can't make it.
I shall have to tell the Browns, Mr. Price.
Fine. Tell Mrs. Brown I'll give her a ring.
Thank you, Mr. Price. I'm sure she'll be very pleased.
Oh, Paddington, did you get what we needed at the supermarket?
Yes, Mrs. Bird. And you'll never guess what. Mr. Price wants me to be an usher at his wedding tomorrow.
Are you certain that's what he said?
He gave me his keys to pick up the guest list. Oh, and Mr. Price said he would give you a ring, Mrs. Brown. Isn't that generous of him?
Hello? Oh, yes, Mr. Price. Paddington said you'd give me a ring.
Oh, Paddington. You're the handsomest usher bear I've ever seen. You've got an important job being in charge of seating the guests.
Seating the guests? But there are 75 of them. I shall never find that many chairs.
Don't worry, Paddington. The seats will be there already. All you have to do is point them out.
Fancy people not knowing what a seat looks like. I had no trouble finding the guest list on the kitchen table at Mr. Price's flat. And soon I had shown everyone where to sit. A job well done.
I must say Paddington's done remarkably well. He never ceases to amaze me.
The day is still young.
Shush. Shush.
I do wish you wouldn't keep telling people to be quiet, though.
If you ask me, I suspect that's what he thinks an usher's really for. To keep saying ush to everybody.
Shush.
Well, I hope he doesn't say it to Deirdre during the ceremony.
And now the ring.
Where's the ring?
I thought you had it.
Where's my ring, Harold?
I don't understand it. I thought I left it on the kitchen table this morning, next to the guest list. Paddington!
I think I'm in trouble again.
Understand this, Harold. No ring, no wedding.
Paddington! Where did he go?
When I saw the ring on the kitchen table, I thought it was the one Mr. Price said he would give to Mrs. Brown. It was time to get some help.
Where did he go?
Paddington!
I saw him only a moment ago.
Paddington, where are
Paddington, where are you?
This was no ordinary trouble. This was trouble with a capital T. And Mrs. Bird had told me who to call if I ever had a real emergency.
Anyone who gets a bear to act as an usher at their wedding is asking for trouble.
Why, that sounds like a... It's the fire brigade, and they've stopped right outside. But they would only do that if there's... Fire! Everybody out of the church!
You should know, Bear, that the emergency telephone number is only for real emergencies.
This is a real emergency, if you're a bear.
Paddington!
My ring!
I thought it was the ring Mr. Price said he would give to Mrs. Brown.
Mrs. Brown?
I meant I'd give Mrs. Brown a ring on the telephone.
Oh dear. When I saw it by the guest list, I thought I would save you a journey and give it to Mrs. Brown myself. And so I wouldn't lose it, I put it on. But it got stuck. Just like now.
I don't believe it.
If you carry on like this, we'll save a lot of time if you're the one that gets married.
If it doesn't come off, perhaps I could come on the honeymoon with you, Miss Flint. I've never been on one of those before. But you'll be pleased to know, Aunt Lucy, that the ring did come off. Mr. and Mrs. Price were so relieved, they gave me an extra large slice of wedding cake as a reminder of the day. And I would like to share it with you.
Oh, and what a bueno reminder it is. Gracias, Paddington.
Mrs. Bird once told me that a pilgrimage is a journey to a place that's very special to you. And since I'm very fond of marmalade, seeing the orange groves in Seville, Spain, was wonderful. It's where they grow the finest marmalade oranges in the world. Mr. Gruber wanted to include the city's famous flamenco festival in his book, The World and Its Wonders.
Olé, olé!
Olé! Olé!
Senor Gruber, oh, how wonderful to see you. This is my daughter, Maria.
Anna! And hello, Maria. I would like you to meet Mr. Brown.
Hola, señores. Welcome to Seville.
Thank you, Maria.
Come, señorita. Dance with me.
No, I couldn't.
Poor Maria. She could be such a wonderful dancer if only she had a little confidence.
Anna told us that Maria dreamed of becoming a famous dancer. As for me, I was surrounded by oranges.
Anna, Maria, thank goodness you are back. It's good to see you, my old friend, but you must forgive me. I will not be able to spend much time with you today.
Papa, what is it? Is something wrong?
Many of the oranges have ripened. If we do not pick them quickly, they will begin to rot.
Rot?
Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Mr. Brown?
Wait for us. We're coming with you.
But the fiesta, we will be working straight through the night, and you have come a long way to see it.
There will be other opportunities, my friend. Right now, saving your crop is more important. Let us not waste any more time.
I've never seen so many oranges in my life.
All waiting to be picked and turned into delicious marmalade, Mr. Brown.
Then we better hurry, Mr. Gruber.
Caramba! Look at that young bear go.
Mr. Brown is very motivated when it comes to marmalade.
No, senor. Like these.
You are a very good dancer, Maria. You must enter the festival.
Oh, no. I couldn't do that. I'm far too busy. Oh, besides, I do not have a partner.
That's because you refuse to dance in front of people. Why, if you did, you'd have your pick of young admirers to dance with.
Why do they use Seville oranges to make marmalade, Mr. Gruber?
There's only one way to find out, Mr. Brown.
I had never tasted anything so sour in my entire life. It's no wonder Mrs. Bird puts plenty of sugar in when she makes her marmalade. You forgot these.
No. Those oranges are too ripe. We will throw them away.
It seems such a waste. Unless... Do you mind if I make marmalade out of them, Mr. Miguel?
Not at all.
Extra chunky, sticky, gooey, sweet and juicy, tasty, chewy orange marmalade. It tastes so good, orange marmalade. The fun part is how it's made. Orange chunks are important. Any size will do. Chopping the chunks big and small. Use all the juice too. Seeds would make chunks hard to chew. Use a cloth bag to strain them through. Even the seeds aren't put to waste. Put the bag in the pot to add to the taste. Skins get soft as they get hot. Sticky and gooey cooking in the pot. The stickier the better, but here's the trick. It's sugar that makes it sweet and thick. It also makes it stick like glue, which you might get all over you. So have some help when cleaning up. You need a friend if you get stuck. Extra chunky, sticky, gooey, sweet and juicy, tasty, chewy orange marmalade. Orange marmalade.
Senor Brown, our work is finished. Everyone will meet us at the fiesta's grand finale.
Something tells me I've used too much sugar.
Senor Brown!
Could you please give me a hand, Maria? I appear to be stuck in some of my marmalade chunks.
Ay, caramba! This is some marmalade.
It's very nearly as good as Mrs. Bird's, even if I do say so myself.
What is that noise?
The pips.
You sound just like a flamenco dancer.
Olé! I think you finally found a dancing partner, Maria.
We need help. Everyone is at the square for the grand finale.
How will we ever find Mr. Gruber?
No, you don't understand. We are not dancers. So many people.
Mr.
What kind of flamenco is this?
I think it's called the Paddington.
Would you like to dance with me?
Well done, Mr. Brown. Such original technique. What is your secret? Marmalade?
Maria, you found someone else to dance with.
Yes, this is Carlos. We're going to practice together and enter next year's fiesta. And to think, if you hadn't made such a mess with your marmalade, Paddington, none of this would have happened. Thank you.
That's the first time anyone has ever thanked me for making them sticky. Dear Aunt Lucy, as you know, I always like getting letters, and today I had a very special one indeed.
I wonder who it's from.
Oh, let's see. Sir Huntley Martin requests the pleasure of Mr. Paddington Brown as his guest of honour on Monday the 20th. There'll be a tour of the factory, followed by a ceremony to open the new extension.
Sir Huntley Martin. Isn't he the man who makes the nice jams?
Marmalade. He makes wonderful marmalade.
And he's been kind enough to invite the rest of us to the ceremony later in the afternoon.
Why would he invite Paddington on a tour and to a ceremony?
Do you remember when I won all that marmalade at the cut-price grocers in the market?
Of course. You were their millionth customer, and you were allowed to fill your shopping trolley with as many things as it could carry.
Sir Huntley was delighted when he heard I'd filled it with his marmalade, and he promised that one day he'd show me round his factory.
Trust Paddington to get himself invited to a marmalade factory.
Well, a certain bear has a lot of cleaning up to do before he'll be fit to go on any tour or attend a ceremony.
I suppose everyone has their methods, but anyone would think I was a rug, not a bear. Are we almost there?
Just a couple more miles, Gov.
Miles? But it's only about 2 inches on the map.
Well, enjoy yourself, Gov. You're certainly spruced up for the occasion.
Thank you very much. My invitation. Oh, why does it only take a moment to get dirty when you're clean, but hours to get clean when you're dirty?
Here now, where do you think you're going?
I've come to see Sir Huntley Martin.
I'm sure you have. And I suppose you left your rolls around the corner.
Rolls? I didn't bring any rolls. I'm here for the ceremony.
Oh, the ceremony. And I suppose your invitation fell into the gutter.
How did you know? Did that happen to yours too?
Hello, Brown residents. What? Paddington hasn't arrived yet, but he left in a taxi some time ago. He should be there by now. Yes, I'll let you know. Goodbye. That was Sir Huntley Martin's secretary. Paddington is late, and they're wondering if he got lost.
But how could he be lost? The taxi was supposed to take him right to the front door.
Remember, Paddington is the sort of bear that things happen to.
Hard stare or no, the only way you're getting in this factory is through the works entrance.
Well, we are a bit short-handed. Come along with me and I'll put you on trial.
On trial? I was expecting a guided tour.
Now he wants a guided tour. So, where would you like to start?
Do you have a taste testing department?
You can't start there. You'll have to work your way up from the bottom.
How about the chunks department? Mrs. Bird says I'm an expert on chunks. Of course, she has to clean them up.
Chunks? Chunks? I know just the place. Follow me. These orange barrels need cleaning out before we send them back to Spain. I dare say you might come across a few chunks while you're at it.
But it'll take days to clean all these. I've only got one pair of paws.
That's all you need. Just keep at it until I come back.
It was certainly a paws-on tour.
Well, any sign of our guest of honor?
I'm sorry, Sir Huntley. Apparently he left by taxi some time ago and hasn't been seen since.
And what's the latest weather forecast?
There's still a risk of afternoon thunderstorms.
I hope our ceremony isn't a complete washout.
I must say you've done a good job there. It's a pity there aren't a few more bears like you around.
Thank you. But as much as I'm enjoying this part of the tour, I'd like to move on.
Oh, you're not done yet.
I'd better hurry up. I don't want the ceremony to start without me.
Still no sign of Paddington. Where could that bear have got to?
Please forgive the delay, ladies and gentlemen, but we are still awaiting our guest of honor, so...
I have never been inside a washing machine, but now I know what a load of wet clothes must feel like.
I have the strangest feeling that there's someone we know in that barrel.
There you are, my friend.
Wow, what an entrance!
And now, our guest of honor, Paddington Brown, will say a few words before we open the new factory extension. Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Sir Huntley. I must say your marmalade is the tastiest in the whole world. Except, of course, for Mrs. Bird's. But that's homemade. But Martin's marmalade does have a lot of chunks. Why, if you took all the chunks from just one jar of your special marmalade and laid them end to end, they would probably stretch from here to here.
These paw prints will remain here, set in cement, as a wonderful reminder of the opening of our new extension.
In fact, Aunt Lucy, if all the chunks from all the jars in Sir Huntley's new factory were laid end to end, it wouldn't surprise me to find they stretched all the way to darkest Peru. And back.